Hey everybody. Alright, everybody's already here. Hey Emma. Hey Tugboat. Mark, you're here early today. Hey Seth. Hello Pippy Pop. No weird formatting. I should give you a heads up. Our internet has been intermittent today for some reason. So if I lose the internet, we might end up ending the show kind of early. Hey Swamp Neil. Hey Cooper. So I hope everyone is doing good and had a good week. I've had a rough week. Little Tula has been not doing well, and it's taken a lot of our energy this week to try to keep her comfortable and take care of her. Oh, it's Tula, our puppy dog. She is 16 years old now, which is pretty old for the size of dog that she is. I don't know how much she weighs. I think she might be like somewhere between 40 and 60 pounds. So she's not like a giant dog. She's not like a German Shepherd, but she's not a little dog either. And her poor little hips have just like her back legs have basically stopped working. And her front legs kind of work, but they're not doing too great. Oh, your mom's 1-year anniversary of her dying. Oh, that sounds nice, Dylan. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss too. Oh, Keith has an art opening tonight. Good luck. I hope you have a ton of fun. Congratulations. Yeah, pets are the greatest thing in the world. I've been trying really hard this week to be present with Tula and sort of just enjoy what's probably our last bit together. And who knows? I mean, she could last months. She could last weeks. But yeah, I think the end is coming for her, and it's really rough. Is my mic too quiet? I might just be talking quiet because I'm so tired. What a finished page would look like in this style. Thanks, Emma. Who's back? Mark? Oh, lost the signal. Geez, yeah, I hope I'm not cutting out too bad. I don't know what the deal is with my internet. It the last 2 days, I guess, it's been just sketchy, and I haven't had time to call, or like it hasn't been like a big enough deal for me to call and figure out what's going on. Huh, Pippi, that's really weird. I looked at the stream on my phone before I went live, and it looked fine on my end. Oh, hey, ED, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. Drink some Pepsi, Dylan. That's awesome. I was very much a Pepsi man until I quit drinking sodas. Well, I guess I still drink soda. I stopped drinking cola. Now I only drink ginger ale because ginger ale is good for you. Hey, Tugboat. Is this how you usually watercolor a page? All one color for the whole page, or do you do panel by panel? I usually do a solid wash of color over the entire page. Oh, Seth, I've tried that kind of ginger beer before, like real ginger beer, and it is too spicy for me. My uncle actually wrote a book about, what was it called? Like dolphins and ginger beer or something? And that was why I tried my first ginger beer. You know, it was not for me. My uncle also like loved Maramite, so that's where he was coming from. Oh man, sounds like it's cutting out for everybody. Yeah, I'm having. Hey, Com Strips, it's good to see you. I'm having internet problems today, and I don't know what the problem is. It's something with my provider, and I'm probably gonna have to call them and find out. They're one of those providers that tend to have outages and then never contact you, and there's no way to like find out if there's an outage from their website. So I don't know. It's a little frustrating. Hey, Rudak. Did I say hey to you already? Probably. Or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, ED. It's not Comcast, but man, Comcast was the worst. That's who he had in Portland. They at least, if I remember right, they at least had like an outage map, which was handy. Oh, thanks, Rudak. Hey, David. Thank you. Hey, Richard. Yeah, comic strips. You should love her. Although you should just go out and get a puppy. Oh, Dylan, you're gonna watch Taken. That's that cowboy movie, right? Well, I guess it's not cowboy as much as it is like, I don't know, pilgrims or something. Not pilgrims, homesteaders or whatever. Yeah, and Liam Neeson. I like Taken. I haven't seen that in a long time. That would actually be fun to watch. Hey, Kevin. Is this for a comic book you're doing? No, not really. This is a page from the Lonesome Hunters that I printed out the pencils because I wanted to try um, I wanted to do like a color and style exploration. I'm doing some. I'm just seeing how I can work in a more limited color palette and see how it comes together. So this is a page from issue 2 of the Lonesome Hunters. The library edition right here comes out in October. You can pre-order it now. I'm redoing this page. Oh, thanks, Rudak. I'm really, really proud of Cosmagog. I think that was one of those books that I leveled up on. Oh, maybe. I don't understand how streaming works. Like, sometimes it feels like the video has to go up to YouTube servers and then get processed and then distributed. And other times it really feels like YouTube just works as a pass-through or something where the signal goes basically straight from my computer to your computer. But I don't know which one's true. Man, I loved John Wick too, Dylan. Well, I loved the first one, and sort of stopped watching after the second one. But that first one was beautiful. Oh my gosh, Liam Neeson doing a reboot of Naked Gun. That could be, yeah, that could go either way. That could be amazing or it could be terrible. I watched, was it last weekend? We watched Grey, the Liam Neeson fighting a wolf movie. That's one of those movies that is, it's very corny, but it's also like um, really good. Please, Pippi, don't call people Shirley. Exactly, comic tropes. There's so much stuff like watching it that it's very funny in that movie. They break down like the alpha male stuff as if it were actual science. It's like all the info they got about wolves was from Wikipedia. It reminds me of in Wolverine where the writer of, I don't remember which Wolverine movie, but there's one of them where whoever wrote the script seems to believe that Wolverines are a kind of wolf. They talk about them howling at the moon or something. Yeah, I think yeah, that's the poem, Joseph. One more time into the fray, into the last good fight I'll ever know. I feel like the thing about the Gray is that it's like one of those great metaphor movies or something. Like I don't know if it's a metaphor, but it's like it's about like I think male loneliness and attacks it as with a very good metaphor. Attacks. Wolverine. I did a T-shirt design years ago for my friend Jay and Miles's X-Men podcast, and we did a shirt with 3 Wolverines howling at the moon, like the 3 Wolf Moon t-shirt, but with Wolverine. I don't know if I've heard of Sisu. That's a Liam Neeson thing, right? Maybe I have heard of it now that I've said his name and Sisu together. Norwegian film. Oh man, Tasmanian Devil can never fight Wolverine. Tasmanian Devil is Warner Brothers, and Wolverine is Disney. Absolute enemies. Do you remember the first comic you bought? I don't remember the first comic I bought. The first comics that I remember reading a lot of were like Harvey comics, like Richie Rich and Casper and Hot Stuff. I read a ton of those. And I had to have bought that. Like my mom wouldn't let me buy any superhero comics because they were too violent when I was little. And then as soon as I could ride my bike far enough away from the house and get to 7-Eleven, I started buying my own comics. And I feel like my first comic must have been a Spider-Man thing, but I don't know why I feel that way. I've showed it 100 times on stream, but about that same time, that would have been 3rd or 4th grade, I got a Swamp Thing. An interesting, a weird copy of Swamp Thing. It was a black and white reprint from Australia that I bought from a thrift store that was next door to the 7-Eleven. And I think it must have come there because that was in Oceanside, California, and there were Marines. That's right next to Camp Pendleton, and there were Marines everywhere. So I feel like someone who was traveling abroad with the military got it and brought it back to the area. Teen Titans, yeah, that would be a good intro. A Black Panther comic. Oh. Oh, Dylan, there was a podcast that was, oh, I can't remember what it was called. I wonder if it's still online. But it was a guy who would basically just read old Aquaman comics. And then after he got far enough along with Aquaman, he switched to doing the Flash. Or maybe he started with the Flash and then moved to Aquaman. I don't remember. But it was really fun. Those old Aquaman and old Flash comics, like Silver and Bronze Age, were really weird. The first comic that I ever really got obsessed with was Alpha Flight, though. That was one where I was able to get in on it early. Like I got in on before the 12th issue, I guess. Picked those up from Lucky's Supermarket. Tom versus Aquaman. That's it, Joseph. Tom versus the Flash. Yeah. I think he stopped making that podcast a long, long time ago. But they might still be online. Yeah, right. Whenever Topo showed up. Tugboat before Mignola even. John Byrne, Alpha Flight. Yeah, in fact, reading Alpha Flight was my first creative team switchover that I ever had to try to navigate as a comics fan. And that was rough. At the time, I was a huge John Byrne fan. Man, one thing, I don't know if I want to re-pencil this page, but it feels like I have the sword pointing the wrong way. Like, it feels like the tip of it should be coming towards the camera, and I have it coming away from the camera. And I'm certain that I drew it that way because of photo reference, but it just looks wrong. Yeah, Tugboat Puck is so great. Yeah, you do, John. That, I don't know. I liked John Byrne before finding out what what a weirdo that dude is. But I liked his I liked Alpha Flight. I liked his Fantastic Four a bunch. I liked his Hulk stuff. In fact, he co-wrote the first Hellboy miniseries, which I always forget. Oh, Dylan, I'm sorry. That's rough to have to put it off like that. Oh yeah, Cooper, I forgot about the World of Krypton. Yeah, I really enjoyed that too. That early Mignola was really fun. Like I liked him trying to fake his way through being a superhero guy. I loved Cosmic Odyssey. I think that's my favorite non Hellboy Mignola thing. Man, I only watched Ponyo once. It was so long ago, I barely remember it. I remember thinking that the art style was way different than I expected going in because it didn't look uh, like Princess Mononoke and stuff. Oh man, Seth, it's been so long since I've done that, but my first comic was um, nights and weekends while I had a day job, and it is challenging, but it is so rewarding when you can finally get it done. Oh yeah, Mark, I imagine 3 and 4-year-olds would just go bananas for Ponyo. How's the stream looking? Is it still intermittent, or does it seem to have evened out? Awesome, thanks, Joseph. Yeah, totally jinx it. Oh, hey, don't forget to like the stream. Helps other people find the video. Thanks, Comstropes. Thanks, Seth. A new horror movie, Cuckoo. I have not heard of that. A black first croissant. I have not heard of that. Dark chocolate and black cherries. Ooh, I don't know if I could do that. I'm not a dark chocolate. I like a nice creamy milk chocolate. I can do dark chocolate if it's got some salt with it. Did anyone catch In a Violent Nature? No, I have not heard of that. Yeah, Tugboat, that's what I've heard about Borderlands. Comic strips, was the violence extreme in like a gruesome sort of a way, or in like a John Wick um, sort of a way? Hey Tyler, thank you. Oh, interesting, Mark. Yeah, I haven't gone out of my way to find good dark chocolate, so it could be that I just have only ever had crappy stuff. Like a well done Friday the 13th way gory. I always have like sometimes gory works for me, and other times I cannot do it. I think it always depends on um, the filmmaker and if they can pull it off or not. Thanks, ED. was just trying to decide if I should try to fix this sword, but this is just a test for colors, so it doesn't actually matter. Uh-oh, Tugboat. One of the top 2 Tylers in comics. But now me and Tyler have to wonder which is the top one. How tightly was Cosmogog scripted? I'm curious how the pages and pacing came together, all the time jumping. It was how tightly. I don't know how to say how tightly it was. Like, it was. My experience with Lemire's scripts is that he like every moment is there in the script. Like every beat you have to hit is in the script. But for individual panels, the panel descriptions are I don't know if I'd say call them minimal, but they're not heavy. Like he's definitely not like an Alan Moore type scripter. So yeah, all the time jump stuff was worked out clearly in the script. Like I didn't do any jazz on that. Yeah, but it's hard to call like his scripts super tight, but I wouldn't say that they're like loose either. So I don't know. I don't know if that answers your question at all. Oh, comic strips. The wildfires are pretty far away from where we are. On Wednesday, the air quality got pretty bad around here. Um, but yesterday and today, I haven't. Well, I guess today I got a couple whiffs of smoke. But like Wednesday, it was pretty bad. Like it was enough to give the sky that orange haze. Like give the quality of the light that orangeness that is so terrifying. Yeah, I think the closest fire to me was kind of a smallish one that's like, I think it was probably about 70 or 80 miles away. How about the way the panels constantly call back to each other, referencing layouts in different locations and times? Yeah, those were in the script, Mark. I think they yeah, he had the whole thing worked out. And in fact, I think he even had the whole script done before I started. Which for a story like that, I think you kind of have to do. With all the jumping back and forth, you have to know. Like when you get to the end, you have to go back to the beginning and, you know, make sure everything lines up. Oh my gosh, Kevin, knock on wood. I really, the last time those wildfires went bonkers, it was so scary. Ugh, I hate that orange sky. Ever since I grew up in Southern California, and we had a lot of wildfires down there, and that thing when you go out and suddenly the light feels so spooky, I hate that. Oh, thanks, Rudek. You're talking about on Cosmogog? Like I was saying earlier, I think I leveled up on that book a lot. That was the one where I started doing my inking in two parts, where I would do like a light ink pass, and then I would color, and then do a dark ink pass on top of it, and it made it so that my ink line was delivering a lot more information than just a solid black line. And I started to finally understand how to do rim lighting um, in a useful way on that. So there's a lot more rim lighting in that than like in anything I did in Harrow County. Oh, thanks, Rudak. Great reading experience. I have to ink super quick in order to get any progress done on my days off. And if I end up not liking how it turns out, I turn it into a kind of underpainting and go over it in white ink. Yeah, that is a good way to do it. Man, if you ever watch Daniel Warren Johnston do his live stream, the way that dude like whites out stuff is so bonkers to me. It's so good. I mean, it's great. It works, but it's like I'm so used to doing this watercolor thing where you have to work really clean. Like if I put down white out and try to paint over the top, you can see that, and it looks bad. But when you're working black and white, you can do that way easier. Yeah, Joseph, it's very aggressive whiting out, but it totally fucking works. I'm a little bit jealous of his process, like just watching him draw where he pencils so loose and then does a lot, works out so much of the drawing in ink. Like I do not know if that would be faster or slower for me. Yeah, Seth, he does have a YouTube channel. In fact, he does a live stream on Fridays also, but earlier in the day. When I was trying to decide when I was going to live stream, I was like, I got to do it late enough that Daniel's not streaming anymore so that I can occasionally catch his stream. Yeah, can only watch one at a time. I miss most of his live streams, but I'll lots of times watch him on the weekend. Oh, nice, Mark. You know, I haven't actually finished Extremity. I was buying it in floppies, and I think I only read the first two. I loved Do a Power Bomb. That was I'm not a wrestling guy, but everything else in that spoke to my interests. Well, these two panels are feeling like they're working okay, but they're feeling a little uninspired to me. Like I think I should have worked out a more intentional color idea or lighting idea. Like up here, I got Lupe being lit sort of from the front, right? And then Howard, I have him with a little bit of a rim light. Like I guess I'm imagining like the light bulb being up here somewhere. Maybe when I add the black in, I'll be able to give it a little more focus. Oh, hey, Kevin Wilson. It's good to see you. And Kevin, are you creating any more original, Kevin Colwell, are you creating any more original comic book series, or would that be more of a classified type answer? I am, right now I'm working on a creator-owned book, but I'm working with a writer. And then I'm also writing the next Lonesome Hunters series. I haven't gotten it approved at Dark Horse yet, but I'm gonna I'm making it anyway, so we'll see what happens with it. I've thought about doing Lonesome Hunters as a Patreon thing, but I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I have the energy actually to do a comic on the side and do it as a Patreon. But we'll see. I'll live forever, so I'll get it worked out. Thanks, Kevin. I sure hope so. Going to a summer goth con at the Portland Expo Center. Nice. I don't know if I could really say that I was goth in high school, but me and the goths were friends. In fact, I was talking to a very good friend of mine from high school, and she got invited to a goth club recently by someone in their 20s, and we both just turned 50, so she was very excited to have gotten invited by the cool kids, and she texted me afterward and was like, "They play our music, Tyler. They still play our music at the clubs," which was very, very exciting to hear. I think she was talking about like playing like Susie and Bauhaus and stuff at the goth club. They love the classics. The dark wave synth music that is the new goth hallmark is actually, there's a lot of stuff that is really extraordinary. Like is that band called Boy Harsher? Front 242. You know, I have not ever listened to a lot of Front 242. I couldn't really tell you what they sound like. Pain by Boy Harsher is so fucking good. Yeah, that's like I don't know what the kids are actually listening to, but that feels like that song has got to be like the goth anthem of the 2020s. Want to learn goth dance styles. I'm not into dancing, so I don't do big movements. Yeah, the goth dancing is amazing because it literally has not changed since since I was in high school in the late 80s. I guess it's developed a little bit. It's a little more ravey, I guess. Rudak, you know, you would think I would, because I was like, I don't know, the school I went to, like the goth kids and the punk kids hung out a lot. So there was a lot of great crossover music stuff. And somehow I never really listened to the Minutemen. I just need to make a point to do that. In high school, I was listening to, well, I was a Sex Pistols nut. I was so into that band. Um, I have a hard time listening to them nowadays. But in high school, I loved them. Still a huge Subhumans fan. I love Subhumans. Um, and it's amazing that they're still, well, at least the lead singer is still touring. I don't know what if the rest of the band is still playing out with him. Yeah, Tugboat. I was actually even a They Might Be Giants fan in high school. Like I feel like my friends in high school listened like there's a lot of crossover. Like there wasn't just one. Um, like people weren't just like one thing or whatever. They weren't just punks. They were usually punks who listened to goth, who listened to the Smiths, who listened to I don't know everything. Oh, Dead Kennedys. Yeah, Kevin. I didn't like them at all when I was a kid. I appreciate them a lot more, but like I always found Jello Biafra's voice to be very irritating. I still kind of do, but I appreciate the band a lot better than I used to. Wolf by Boy Epic. Okay. Write it down. The oh, you know the since we're talking about music, the I just got uh oh dang it, now I can't remember the name of the band. This is such a good album though. This is the Thermals. The Blood, the Body, and the Machine. I just got this on vinyl this week, and it is a masterpiece. I love this album so much. It's sort of a story album, kind of 2000s punk, Portland punk scene. Okay, Dylan. Yeah, remind me to ask. Emma, you know the Eagles too. That's another band that I feel like I should have listened to a ton, but um, I have not given them a lot of time. Bush era punk album. I think in the Bush era, I was mostly listening to like Fugazi. In this moment, yeah, I haven't heard of them at all. Oh, Modest Mouse. Yeah. That was definitely a Bush era band for me too. In fact, I've been listening to a lot of Modest Mouse lately too. Especially their first 2 or 3 albums. And then of course the what's that other band that the Modest Mouse guy was in? I think they hold up really good, Kevin. I think that they yeah, I think like whenever there was a thing in I don't know, there was a moment where their music felt like it changed and got like kind of poppy, and they sort of lost interest for me, but I think their older stuff is still really really good. I saw actually saw um, Modest Mouse play, and it was one of the worst concerts I've ever been to in my life. But not because of Modest Mouse. It was because it was in San Diego, and MTV Spring Break was going on down the street from where I saw them, and apparently they had given away tickets at the MTV event to Modest Mouse. So the audience was full of people who had never heard of Modest Mouse before, but they had just won tickets, and the vibe was just like way off. It was terrible. Alpha Llama Llama. Sorry, is it out already? I just can't keep up. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I think I missed some of the conversation. Oh, you're not even talking to me. You're talking to Mark. Oh, interesting, Dylan. Yeah, I'm gonna I'll write that down too. Yeah, Redek. I am not gonna repaint um, Lonesome Hunters. I might do something a little more limited palette with the next story arc, though. We'll see. See how it all comes together. I have to say that the limited color palette feels really nice. It's actually getting me really amped to try to do something like this. And especially if I was penciling a book, knowing that I would be doing a limited color palette, I would probably plan it out a little bit better. So it would be like the pencils would be ready for a limited color palette. Like these just kind of weren't set up like that. I don't know if that even makes sense. Have you considered mounting the paper onto Gator board with staples? That's interesting. No, I have never considered that. I have like a foam core thing that I use, and I tape it down. And I've never considered stapling it. I actually like the taping because then I can tape off my panel borders and everything. A pink, purple, blue, black, and red color palette. Yeah, that would be really pretty. Actually, that's a good question. What's Gator board? I always thought the Gator board was a different kind of foam core, but I'm not sure if that's true. Is Gator board like the plastic stuff? Oh, Richard, and that's the thing is I don't stretch my paper at all. Like I tape it down, but I use Strathmore mixed media paper, so it actually doesn't need to be stretched. I mean, I guess it probably could stand to be stretched, but it doesn't seem to need it. Like this is Strathmore stuff, and it's like I don't know, it doesn't lay perfectly flat, but it doesn't like curl up and buckle and stuff. It scans like it's flat enough to scan really well. Oh, Richard, so the heavyweight foam board, it's the stuff that's like a half-inch thick or something, right? Yeah. Yeah, um, maybe I should pick up some Gator board. I was actually just thinking I needed to get some new foam core. Like this sheet right here is probably like 4 years old. Maybe not that long. Maybe it's only like 2 or 3. But it's been a long time since I've gotten new boards to paint on. I have a whole little stack of them just off of here, off the screen or whatever. Why do you paint as foam core as a backer? It is because it's cheap and it's rigid and yeah, that's basically it. Like I want something rigid so that I can, because of how much I spin my page around, it really helps to it really helps to protect the page. It also helps keep it, because when you get it wet, it does try to curl a little bit, which means that you're like trying to hold it down with one hand and draw with the other, and that's always a nightmare. And it keeps it flatter, more flat when it dries if it's taped up as it if it's like taped flat as it dries. So it is to, because it's easier to manage when you're working, and then it dries flatter. That's why I keep it taped up. And even when I'm doing like sketch cards for like my magic cards, I'll tape those down because they're so small that they're hard to sort of deal with. And I also like the look when you tape off the edges, so there's a little white outline around them. I think that looks nice. Keith, you just tape it down to the desk. You know who yeah, I've seen other people do that. I'm trying to think of who I have seen tape their stuff down like straight onto the desk. I can't do that because I need to like rotate my shit. Any new magic card art in the works? No, unfortunately I haven't gotten any recent commissions. I've just been working on that new creator-owned book that I mentioned earlier, and I've been doing way too many covers. Watching this black ink give volume to the page. Thanks. Yeah, I like when you add the black and then the white highlights, like the two together, like really make things go turn 3D. The shelf thing is basically like foam core. Oh, it's like I know what you're talking about. It's like one of those particle board shelves with like a laminate thing. I'm guessing. I don't know. David asks, do you prefer to do the inking last or don't really matter? In my usual working method, I do like 2 inking passes where I do a light colored ink pass. Lately, I've been using a lot of burnt umber for that. And then I'll paint with watercolor, and then I'll go back in and do a black ink pass at the end. So I kind of do both. Um, but with this color experiment that I'm doing today, I'm trying to keep the blacks, treat the ink like I'm not trying to ink it as much as I am trying to use the black as just a paint color. So while I will kind of follow a contour of a thing, I'm mostly trying to think of like just where the shadows are and where I want the darkest spots to be, if that makes any sense at all. Tyler, what comic was the least enjoyable to create? I ain't saying. I've actually, now I'm sitting here sort of stewing on that. I've been really lucky. Like, I have not worked on anything that was a real nightmare. Um, there have been some projects that were very challenging, but they were all thankfully really short. Yeah, I've mostly just been really lucky to have worked with mostly great people who want to tell great stories. And so, yeah, I haven't done a lot that I was like that I walked away from being like, I'll never do that again. Oh my gosh, Kevin, if I got like you would not have to force me to make Heathcliff strips. I am a huge fan of the current Heathcliff guy. Is there an already established character that you will not do a comic of? Huh. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of uh, like a mainstream comic book character where I'm like, I hate that character so much that I wouldn't do it. Oh man, Richard, Transformers, I might say no to. I think, I think I would have to say no to that. Not because I have anything against Transformers. I love Transformers, but uh, drawing robots like that, I think would just be a nightmare. I think that'd be way too much work for me. Like I'm trying to develop a love of drawing cars, and it's coming along actually pretty well. I'm starting to figure out ways to approach them that feels really fun and good. But Yeah, drawing cars that turn into robots would be just so hard for me. I just draw them as cube-like people. I guess that's like Optimus Prime is kind of just a cube man. He could be in. You could make a pretty good Optimus Prime out of um, Minecraft. Does being able to draw vehicles, horses, and hands properly get you bonus points on portfolios? I think probably they do. I think like I don't know. My thing is that I'm just not a car guy. Like I can draw decent hands. I can draw decent horses. Um, but I also think that hands and horses are beautiful. Don't really think that cars are beautiful, so I have to um, sort of trick myself into finding the thing about them that's like cool to draw. The changing cube men. Yeah. My seventh grade science teacher brought in his drawings on the last day of school. He was talented. He was pretty good at drawing cars. He also showed us his fake eye too. That's awesome. I had a PE teacher in the third grade. He's one of the guys. I wish I remembered his name. Um, he was teaching PE while he was going to art school, and he came in one day. He would come into my regular third grade class and do little art lessons, sort of um, as a side hustle, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the situation was, but he taught us how to draw horses one day, and I completely lost my shit over that and drew horses for forever. In fact, I really was in drawing unicorns, except I would draw them with the horn coming out the like off the top of their nose for some reason. I thought that's where unicorn horns were. Well, I could actually work on this a lot longer, but I should probably go and help my aunt take care of Tula. So maybe I'll have this done and we can look at it next Friday. Or maybe we'll finish it together next Friday. I think it was more of an ignorance choice, Keith. I don't know why I thought their horns grew out of their nose. You would think that I had would have access to seeing what a unicorn looked like, but who knows? All right, everybody. I hope y'all have a great weekend and have a wonderful week next week. And make sure to Go out and find the people you love and tell them exactly how much you love them. I love all you guys. I'm so glad you hung out with me tonight. Alright, I'll see y'all next week.